Everyone, I'm McDowell here with another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be doing a style analysis of Sambo. It's basically called the Russian version of judo, and that's mostly is what it's based off of. It's basically a lot of grappling, but it's also known as self-defense without a weapon in Russian, an acronym of two words. And originally started in the 1930s, and I hate if I butchered this name, but it was founded by Anti-Kompromet. So please excuse me if I mispronounced that. But the thing is, he was one of the few guys in the 1930s, whereas when it was founded, they kind of found a certain way to actually incorporate into the Olympic style of fighting. And just like it says, basically almost like the Russian version of judo. And it was tested in the system of the Soviet Army during World War II. So ever since when it was actually, before the World War II actually started, it was being tested for almost, for 9 years in the 1930s. And then it was made of many different aspects of fighting, such as self-defense, special combat, and the sporting variation. So this is like the second, almost like the second, I want to call it the first, but it was almost the second way of fighting for the Russians when they were in the Soviet Union. The other couple ones were Simta fighting, along with Ross, the Russian-owned system of self-defense. So they had other self-defenses and many fighting style, but Sambo was almost like the second best. But I like to call it was the first one because no one really knows what Simta means. SYSTMA, Simba, and it's basically for military fighting, Simta, if you can say it right, excuse me. But Sambo is what I'm trying to get at here today, is that, of course, like I said, it's basically a mean different kind of arts, and it's almost as similar to the Japanese art, Daioto Ryo Akio Jiu-Jitsu, excuse me. And it includes different aspects of escaping locks, kicks, punches, chokeholds, and empty-hand weapon disarmaments. Like I said, it's almost also similar to, say, Krav Maga, a Russian version of Krav Maga judo system. But the thing is, the problem with the Russians, though, they have really strict laws about self-defense. I mean, communism, but what are you gonna do? And so what they did is that they basically they had their own strict Russian laws that if you had it which throw down hand-to-hand fighting, you will face up to 5 years in prison, and it had to have, because you was found for excessive violence during a self-defense situation. So therefore, Sambo only aimed to defend a life or protection for a minimum of force required. So which means kind of similar like we have in the States. You can only use self-defense if the actual force is required. Such as if you have, say, just your hands, you have to use just your hands. In Russia, they don't have no Second Amendment law. So therefore, you can't actually go out and shoot someone if you're trying to use self-defense. And for example, if you actually punch someone, you can actually punch someone with an amount of force just to get away. If you punch them too hard and kill them, you could face five years or more in prison. So the problem with self-defense laws is that everything changes in different cultures and different states. So whenever you travel abroad, be sure you look up all the different laws that requires you actually defend yourself any means necessary. If it means also, if you actually go and kill someone say in Russia or any others, be sure you know exactly you have your own. You contact the embassy and see which actually attorney you can actually search for. Okay, if you search for their attorney, they're only going to go by their own laws. If you contact the U.S. embassy, they'll try to come up with a better attorney for you to actually find how you actually can defend yourself in different countries. But enough of the legal system. Here's try to keep going back with the Sambo. That that, like I said, is only for the minimum required to defend yourself as a Sambo practitioner. That's kind of like saying if you rush yourself as a Sambo practitioner, you can only use the amount of force that's necessary or minimum force necessary to get away. So, and the training elements in the Russian army and the police force, they had a different view. The philosophy is that a practitioner is not allowed an attacker to cause them injury. So that means eye gouging, hair pulling, dislocated maneuvers, throws, and uses, but as well as throwing an opponent. Now, military, however, have a different kind of simultaneously dictating on how you should be breaking a joint. So in competition, practitioners have to wear their certain colors and such like that, such as like blue jackets, blue and red jackets for opposite leads, kind of like how we are with our video game controllers. We gotta use like red or blue controllers like that, along with shorts and grappling belt. And the uniform, of course, did not denote the rank. The colors, as in, like say in boxing and the different ways how you actually defend, the different way you different opponents. You can't have, like I say, like in America, you can't really have. You can have your own customized. I mean, they changed the laws, all the regulations in America about having just training shorts and stuff like that. With Russia, you gotta have their strict red or blue training shorts like that. And it was actually started being governed as the International Amateur Sambo Federation. It does sanctions Sambo practitioners to enjoy success in number of wrestling and mixed martial art competitions. So even they support mixed martial art competition, but they have to go by their own regulations in Russia, the same way we do here in America. It has been in many, it also like adopted many other different styles. So Sambo, the thing I find Sambo more effective than Sistema, or that was the name I was trying to get at earlier, Sistema. But because the reason why, because it requires a lot more force than Sistema. And there's been a lot of talks about Sistema that they use a lot of the no physical force knockouts. The thing is, in any martial arts, there is no such thing as no knockout rules. The thing is, you can't just knock someone out just by boop. You can't just knock someone out like that, or just like, I use the force, the power of God beheld you, but the power of God beheld you. No. In any style, you cannot. In any style, that is completely fantasy. That's completely just a magic trick. It does not matter what culture or where you're from. You can't just use a no knockout rule. And the problem is a lot of that martial art goes in any different country. So that's kind of the reason why Sistema is on the fence of whether or not it's actually effective, because you got a lot of these instructors. No matter if they're Russian or not. We got them here in America too, trying to show about the whole knockout. I even seen one where a guy is actually trying to touch the man's belly, and then the guy that's touching his belly from the top part goes flying across the place. That's just Sistema. But Sambo is very effective. Very effective. I said I've seen many Sambo practitioners. One of them actually did get his arm dislocated and still kept fighting. We gotta give to those Russians. They are committed. So, all respects to all the Sambo practitioners and all the ones who are in the martial arts, trying to keep their form and respect their schools and all that. All respects. So that's Sambo for you. Basically, it's just a Russian judo, Krav Maga kind of style. Very effective, but only like say number 2 in the styles of Russian. I don't know why. I mean, it was just from a different source. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like, subscribe, share, and comment on this video. We're trying to get to 1,000 views. This is Al McDowell, sign off.